Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of hidden treasures as we explore the top 4 ultra-rare and most valuable Monticello 5-cent Jefferson nickel coins that collectors and investors are always searching for. These small 5-cent coins may look ordinary, but certain rare dates, mint marks, and minting errors have made some Jefferson nickels worth thousands, tens of thousands, and even more. So before you spend that old nickel, make sure to watch until the end because you might be holding a valuable hidden treasure. Alright everyone, let's get started. First up, the 1987 Washington quarter dollar with the D mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this quarter may look like nothing more than ordinary pocket change that has passed through thousands of hands over the years. Yet experienced collectors understand that some of the most extraordinary stories in numismatics begin with coins that most people overlook. Every tiny scratch, every gently worn edge, and every remaining detail reflects decades of history, making this classic quarter far more than 25 cents. It is a surviving witness to an unforgettable period of American life and a fascinating piece of modern coin collecting. The Washington quarter first entered circulation in 1932 to honor George Washington during the celebration of the 200th anniversary of his birth. What began as a commemorative design soon became one of the longest-running and most recognizable coins ever produced in the United States. For generations, Americans carried Washington quarters in their wallets, pockets, purses, and cash registers. They were used to pay for meals, transportation, groceries, newspapers, entertainment, and countless everyday purchases. Few coins have participated in so many ordinary moments while quietly becoming part of the nation's history. The D Mint mark tells us that this particular coin was struck at the historic Denver Mint, one of the busiest production facilities in the United States mint system. Every 1987 D Washington quarter began its life with brilliant mint luster, razor-sharp details, and beautiful surfaces carefully prepared for circulation. As soon as these quarters left the mint, every coin started a completely unique journey. Although millions were struck, no two surviving examples experienced exactly the same adventure. The year 1987 represented a fascinating chapter in American history. Businesses continued expanding, technology advanced steadily, families worked hard toward brighter futures, and communities across the nation continued growing. Throughout this exciting period, millions of Washington quarters quietly entered circulation and became trusted companions during everyday life. They traveled through banks, supermarkets, restaurants, department stores, airports, schools, sporting events, gas stations, and neighborhood businesses, silently witnessing thousands of unforgettable moments. A circulated 1987 D Washington quarter possesses a special charm that collectors genuinely admire. Unlike coins preserved immediately after leaving the mint, circulated examples completed the purpose for which they were originally created. They faithfully served millions of people while gradually developing the gentle signs of honest use that now tell the remarkable story of their survival. Every tiny mark represents another transaction, another journey, and another moment preserved forever within the history of the coin. Imagine where this quarter may have traveled throughout its incredible lifetime. It may have rested inside the wallet of a traveling salesman crossing several states, accompanied a family on a memorable summer vacation, or helped purchase groceries at a neighborhood supermarket. Perhaps it was exchanged at a movie theater, a baseball stadium, a small-town diner, a busy shopping mall, or a local gas station. Every transaction added another page to the remarkable story this coin continues carrying today. One of the greatest pleasures of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people from different generations and different walks of life. This 1987 D Washington quarter may have passed through the hands of teachers, doctors, mechanics, students, cashiers, truck drivers, business owners, grandparents, parents, and children. None of them imagined that decades later this same coin would become a fascinating collectible admired by enthusiasts around the world. The obverse proudly displays George Washington, whose portrait has remained one of the most recognizable symbols in American coinage for generations. Even after years of circulation, much of the original artistry often remains beautifully visible. Washington's calm expression continues, representing courage, leadership, integrity, and dedication to the principles upon which the nation was founded. Collectors continue admiring the elegance and timeless beauty of this historic design. Turning the coin over reveals the magnificent eagle reverse that represented the Washington quarter for generations before later commemorative designs were introduced. The eagle stands proudly with its wings spread wide, holding arrows and olive branches that symbolize both strength and peace. Even in circulated condition, the reverse continues displaying impressive detail that reminds collectors why this design remains one of the most beloved in American numismatic history. Collectors especially appreciate circulated Washington quarters because every surviving coin develops its own completely unique appearance through years of honest circulation. Every gently rounded edge, every naturally aged surface, and every tiny contact mark reflects another chapter in the remarkable life of the coin. No two circulated quarters share exactly the same history, making every surviving example a one-of-a-kind historical artifact. Every 1987 Washington quarter with the D Mint mark followed its own remarkable adventure after leaving the Denver Mint. Some remained inside major cities where they changed hands several times each day. Others traveled quietly through farming communities, suburban neighborhoods, and small towns where life moved at a slower pace. Some entered collections relatively early, while others continued serving the public faithfully for decades before finally being preserved. Holding a 1987 Washington quarter today creates an extraordinary connection to another generation. It reminds us of a. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter dollar with the D Mint mark in circulated condition. At first glance, this quarter may appear to be nothing more than an ordinary 25-cent coin that has quietly traveled through thousands of everyday transactions. However, experienced collectors know that some of the most fascinating treasures begin with coins that seem completely ordinary. Every tiny scratch, every gently worn edge, and every surviving detail tells a story of decades spent in circulation, making this classic quarter a remarkable witness to American history and an exciting piece for collectors to study and appreciate. The Washington quarter has proudly represented American coinage since its introduction in 1932. Originally created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the design quickly became one of the most recognizable coins ever produced by the United States Mint. Generation after generation, Americans carried Washington quarters in their wallets and pockets, using them for groceries, transportation, newspapers, vending machines, restaurants, movie theaters, and countless other everyday purchases. Through millions of ordinary transactions, these coins quietly became part of the nation's daily life. The D Mint mark tells us that this particular quarter was struck at the historic Denver Mint. Every 1974 D Washington quarter began its journey with brilliant mint luster, sharply defined details, and beautiful craftsmanship. As soon as these coins entered circulation, every individual example followed its own completely unique adventure. Some remained close to home, while others traveled across numerous states. Although millions were produced, no two surviving quarters have experienced exactly the same journey. The year 1974 was a fascinating period filled with social change, economic challenges, growing communities, and countless everyday moments that shaped American life. During this memorable year, millions of Washington quarters quietly entered circulation and became trusted companions during daily commerce. They passed through grocery stores, department stores, gas stations, neighborhood diners, banks, schools, sporting events, and family businesses, silently witnessing history while performing the simple job they were created to do. A circulated example of the 1974 D Washington quarter possesses a special beauty that many collectors truly admire. Unlike coins carefully preserved immediately after leaving the mint, circulated examples completed the purpose for which they were originally created. They faithfully served the public for years while gradually developing the gentle signs of honest use that now make every surviving coin completely unique. Every small mark reflects another chapter in its remarkable journey. Imagine where this remarkable quarter may have traveled over the decades. It may have rested inside the wallet of a businessman traveling across the country, accompanied a young family on vacation, or been exchanged countless times inside neighborhood grocery stores and busy shopping centers. Perhaps it purchased school supplies, gasoline, movie tickets, or a favorite meal shared among friends. Every transaction became another unforgettable page in the remarkable history this coin continues carrying today. One of the greatest pleasures of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people across different generations. This 1974 Washington quarter may have passed through the hands of teachers, doctors, mechanics, students, travelers, cashiers, business owners, grandparents, parents, and children. Although none of them imagined it, each transaction became another important part of the coin's extraordinary journey through history. The obverse proudly displays George Washington, whose portrait has remained one of the most respected and recognizable images in American coinage. Even after decades of circulation, much of the original artistry often remains visible. Washington's calm expression continues representing leadership, courage, honesty, and dedication to the principles upon which the nation was founded. Collectors continue appreciating the timeless elegance of this historic design. Turning the coin over reveals the magnificent eagle reverse that defined the Washington quarter for generations. The eagle stands proudly with its wings fully extended, holding arrows and olive branches that symbolize both national strength and peace. Even circulated examples continue displaying impressive detail that reminds collectors why this reverse design remains one of the greatest achievements in American coin engraving. Collectors especially appreciate circulated Washington quarters because every surviving coin develops its own unique appearance through years of honest use. Every softly rounded edge, every naturally aged surface, and every tiny contact mark reflects another unforgettable chapter in the life of the coin. No two circulated quarters have followed exactly the same path, making every surviving example a genuine historical artifact. Every 1974 Washington quarter with the D Mint mark followed its own completely different adventure after leaving the Denver Mint. Some remained inside busy metropolitan areas where they changed hands many times every day, while others circulated quietly through small farming communities and rural towns where life moved more slowly. Some entered collections relatively early, while others remained active in circulation for decades before finally being preserved. Holding a 1974 Washington quarter today creates a remarkable connection to another era of American history. It reminds us of a time before smartphones, internet shopping, online banking, and digital payments transformed daily life. During those years, quarters remained essential for everyday purchases, making this coin a genuine witness to countless ordinary moments experienced by millions of Americans. Many families unknowingly preserved Washington quarters inside piggy banks, dresser drawers, kitchen jars, coffee cans, old purses, and family coin albums. Years later, these forgotten collections often become treasured heirlooms passed lovingly from grandparents to children and grandchildren. Beyond their collectible importance, they preserve precious family memories that continue growing more meaningful with every passing generation. Coin collecting is about far more than searching for valuable dates or units. Next up, the 1997 Washington quarter dollar with the P Mint mark in beautiful extra fine condition. At first glance, this quarter may appear to be just another coin that quietly circulated through everyday life, but seasoned collectors know that every coin carries a remarkable story waiting to be uncovered. Every carefully preserved detail, every lightly worn surface, and every tiny mark tells the story of a coin that has survived decades while maintaining impressive beauty. This is much more than 25 cents. It is a small but meaningful piece of American history that continues to capture the attention of collectors around the world. The Washington quarter has remained one of the most recognizable coins in American history since its introduction in 1932. Originally created to honor George Washington during the bicentennial celebration of his birth, the design became so popular that it continued far beyond its original purpose. For generations, Americans relied on this dependable quarter every single day. It paid for groceries, bus fares, newspaper deliveries, vending machine snacks, movie tickets, parking meters, and countless other everyday purchases. Through millions of ordinary transactions, the Washington quarter quietly became part of the daily lives of countless families across the nation. The P Mint mark tells us that this particular coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, one of the oldest and most respected minting facilities in the United States. Every 1997 P Washington quarter began its life with brilliant mint luster, crisp lettering, sharply defined details, and flawless surfaces prepared with remarkable precision. As these coins entered circulation, every single example began a completely unique journey. Although millions were produced during that year, no two surviving coins have experienced exactly the same path through history. The year 1997 represented an exciting chapter in modern America. Technology was rapidly advancing, communities continued expanding, businesses were thriving, and families embraced new opportunities as the century approached its conclusion. Throughout this memorable period, millions of Washington quarters quietly entered circulation and became trusted companions during everyday commerce. They traveled through restaurants, shopping malls, grocery stores, airports, gas stations, schools, sporting events, neighborhood businesses, and countless other locations while silently witnessing history unfold one transaction at a time. An extra fine example of the 1997 P Washington quarter offers collectors an especially attractive combination of preservation and authenticity. Unlike heavily circulated examples, an extra fine coin retains much of its original design detail while displaying only light evidence of honest use. George Washington's portrait remains bold and impressive, the lettering stays crisp, and the reverse eagle continues showing outstanding detail. This remarkable balance between careful preservation and genuine circulation makes extra fine examples highly enjoyable to study and admire. Imagine where this remarkable quarter may have traveled throughout its incredible lifetime. It may have rested inside the wallet of a college student attending classes, accompanied a business traveler flying across the country, or been exchanged countless times inside busy supermarkets and neighborhood stores. Perhaps it purchased gasoline during a family vacation, helped pay for lunch during a busy workday, or became part of a child's growing coin collection. Every transaction quietly added another unforgettable chapter to the fascinating story this coin continues carrying today. One of the greatest joys of coin collecting comes from realizing that every circulated coin quietly connects countless people from different generations and different walks of life. This 1997 P Washington quarter may have passed through the hands of teachers, mechanics, nurses, doctors, cashiers, travelers, students, business owners, parents, grandparents, and children. Although none of them realized it at the time, every exchange became another meaningful moment in the remarkable history preserved within this small but fascinating coin. The obverse proudly displays George Washington, whose portrait has remained one of the most respected and recognizable symbols in American coinage. Even after years of light circulation, an extra fine example preserves much of the original artistry created by the talented engravers of the United States Mint. Washington's calm expression continues symbolizing leadership, courage, honesty, determination, and dedication to the principles that helped establish the nation. Collectors continue admiring the timeless beauty and historical significance of this enduring design. Turning the coin over reveals the magnificent heraldic eagle that served as the reverse design of the Washington quarter for generations before the state quarters program introduced new designs. The eagle proudly spreads its wings while holding arrows and olive branches, representing both national strength and peace. Even after years of careful circulation, extra fine examples continue displaying remarkable detail throughout the feathers, lettering, and surrounding design elements, making the reverse especially satisfying to examine closely. Collectors especially appreciate extra fine Washington quarters because they preserve exceptional design details while honestly reflecting years of real-world circulation. Every softly polished high point, every naturally aged surface, and every tiny contact mark tells part of the coin's remarkable journey. These authentic characteristics cannot be artificially recreated, giving every surviving quarter its own unique personality and historical identity. Every 1997 Washington quarter struck at the Philadelphia Mint followed a completely different adventure after leaving the Mint. Some remained inside busy metropolitan areas where they changed hands many times each day. Others traveled quietly through rural communities, suburban neighborhoods, or small-town businesses. Some entered coin collections shortly after being released, while others faithfully served the public for decades before finally being preserved by collectors who recognized their lasting historical importance. Holding a 1997 Washington quarter today creates an immediate connection to the closing years of the 20th century. It reminds us of a time before smartphones dominated communication, before digital wallets became common, and before online shopping changed the way people purchased everyday. Next up,